I first stumbled across the unsettling tape known as Grave Robbing for Morons months ago, and it hasn't left my mind since. After digging through old articles, archived web pages, and half-forgotten rumors, I've pulled together every shred of evidence I could find and debunked the wildest theories along the way. The video itself appears to come from the late 80s or early 90s. At one point, you can clearly spot an Evil Dead 2 VHS on the table, which means it couldn't have been filmed before 1987. A copy of Fangoria Horror FX magazine narrows it further to 1989 or later. The earliest trace of the tape online shows up on a now-defunct horror video site in April 2003, when someone quietly listed it for sale. That's the hard timeline we have to work with. The voices in the footage carry a strong New York accent. Locals say it's likely Queens or Brooklyn. Around the 26-minute mark, the main speaker even brags that his next big hit will be none other than Houdini's grave. Houdini is buried in Machpelah Cemetery in Queens, a spot that's been vandalized a few times, but as far as records show, never robbed of the body itself. Plenty of armchair detectives have tried to put a name to the man in the video. The most popular theory points to Anthony Casamassima, a Brooklyn art thief arrested in the early 90s for stealing Tiffany glass windows. The connection? In the tape, the narrator begins to say, "This was made by Anthony Cass. Well, forget the last name." Tempting, but the math doesn't work. Casamassima was already around 30 when the earliest possible recording date rolled around, and photos show a completely different face and build. Another rumor claims the man was a Brooklyn local nicknamed Screws, a petty criminal who supposedly sold human bones to practitioners of dark magic. The story goes that he was found dead in gruesome fashion decades ago, but this legend came from a single YouTube comment. Colorful, yes, but impossible to verify. Others have suggested Craig A. Bradley, arrested in 1995 for stealing skulls from an upstate mausoleum. Yet interviews and mugshots show little resemblance, and his age doesn't line up neatly either. Then there's Matthias Frias. In 1991, this 21-year-old homeless man was caught stealing at least 5 skulls from Brooklyn's Cypress Hills Cemetery. He reportedly cleaned them in his mother's backyard before selling them, and later brushes with the law suggest a troubled life. The timing and location fit disturbingly well, making Frias one of the most convincing candidates, though nothing proves it beyond doubt. A few conspiracy-minded viewers insist the entire tape was staged for a notorious underground DVD compilation called Ensuring Your Place in Hell, released around 2009. But that disc merely collected already circulating VHS oddities, including Grave Robbing for Morons, without offering any clues to its true origin. And what about the persistent whispers that filmmaker Christopher Bouchy was behind it? He's repeatedly denied involvement, and the IMDb credit that keeps resurfacing is nothing more than a user-added listing on a site where anyone can type in a name. After months of searching, that's where the trail ends. A grainy video with a New York accent, a handful of eerie leads, and no definitive answer. Maybe the man behind the camera was never caught. Maybe he was just another lost soul haunting the city's forgotten graveyards. What do you think? Is one of these suspects the real moron, or is the truth still buried out there? Share your thoughts below. I'd love to hear your theory.